What's going on, everyone? Welcome. So today I'm going to be going over some things. The first thing I'm going to be going over is new selectors. How long should it take for you to make 100%? I see that comment in my videos a lot. So I'm just going to give my little theory on that. And then we're going to go over some pictures, just random pictures I took off the internet, going over nice pallets, crappy pallets, what I would have done better. Sort of like a video breakdown, but a picture breakdown. And then the last thing I'm going to be going over is I just want to let you guys know that I'm reading your comments and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do videos on certain comments that are coming my way. But before we get to that, if you guys are not a subscriber, if you could do that, I really appreciate it, guys. Hit the notification bell. It's just going to let you know when I post videos. Guys, leave comments and give me a thumbs up and share my content with your fellow workers at the warehouse. I really appreciate it. All right, the first thing, guys, I want to talk about is the 100%. How long should it take to get to 100%? I want to say first and foremost, if you are a new selector and you're looking at my videos or you're looking at other videos and you see someone post on there, I'm throwing 300 cases per hour and you're only doing 64 cases per hour and you start freaking out. I want you to know that every single warehouse is different. That's why I say it is very, very irrelevant what somebody is doing at one warehouse and what you're doing at your warehouse. Unless that person's at your warehouse throwing 300 cases, then they're phenomenal. Ask them questions. Okay, hey, what can I do to get there? What do you see? After you're done with your pallet, go to a good selector. What can I do different on this pallet to get my times speeding up a little bit? But guys, every warehouse is different. People have headsets, people have guns, people have strap-on wrist things that they shoot. People have stickers, people have headsets and guns, or headsets and stickers rather. Everybody has something different. Their time studies are different. Their travel time is different. The case pattern's different. There is so many things that are different from one warehouse to the other. So don't start freaking out when you're doing 67 cases per hour and someone's doing 300 cases per hour because you're reading it in my comment section or somebody else's comment section. You should be not basing your production off of what they're doing at a different warehouse. So first and foremost, quit looking at people's comments of what they do, okay? It should be irrelevant to what you're doing at your warehouse. So the next thing I want to talk about is how long is your probation period before you have to make that 100%? Is it 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks? How long do you have to make until you get to make your times? And another thing is like at our warehouse, you have to, and I noticed this in some of the comment sections, that week 2, you have to be at a 70%. Week 4, you have to be at 80%. Week 5, you have to be at a 90%. Do not overshoot that percentage. So when you're on your probation period, unless your pallets are looking good and you got everything down, then go for that 100%. But if you are not comfortable with building your pallet, you should not be overshooting what your weekly goals are. So if you have to be at a 70% on week 2, be at a 70%. Or be around that 70%, 68 or even a 71, be around that 70%. And take the extra time. If you're ahead of your schedule and you're at a 75%, knock it down to a 70%. Take the extra time and learn how to build your pallet. Guys, once you get comfortable with the equipment and learn how to build pallets, the times are going to come. I keep saying that, and I promise you they do. So your 100% will come. You just need to utilize your time in the right steps, and that's learning the equipment and learning how to build that base. Once you learn how to build that base, the rest of the pallet's going to fly through. And like I said, every starting point in the warehouse, we have about 4 or 5 different starting points in our warehouse. So every one of those starting points, I know exactly, before I even get to the owl, I have an idea of what my base is going to look like already. So it's very important to learn your base and remember what you're doing so you do the same thing every single order. All right, guys, so I just wanted to start looking at some pictures. First and foremost, I wanted to start with this picture. This is actually someone from our Discord. And as you can see, their pallet has slip sheets on every layer. I totally agree with this. Believe it or not, I totally agree with this. When you get heavy glass products, it is very easy for that pallet to shift. So those slip sheets within those layers of our glass products is giving more stabilization to that heavy load. So that's my first picture, good pallet. So the next picture I'm gonna talk about, guys, in this one here, you see that case down where the arrow is pointing sideways case. That almost looks like ice cream cones to me. I don't know what kind of case that is, but it doesn't matter. All your shippers, their sides are big, flat, and they're really weak. Stacking on shippers is the most horrible thing you could do, especially on the side of it. Where I have the blue outline case, that's where I would have put that shipper. I would have stuck it right on the front of my pallet and out of the way, and I would have built around it. That way the back part of my pallet would have been canned goods and, you know, different various heavier items instead of that shipper. Do not lay shippers on their side if you can help it, and if you have to, then keep stacking other like products on top of it, other shippers or other light things. You don't want to put heavy products on top of shippers. All right, guys, here's another one. This just screenshot off of a video online. These Campbells, they are heavy. It's broth. And I don't know why, like this pallet here with the canned goods, I don't know why he's building column stacking on this. This is one part of the warehouse where you could definitely build layers and tie stuff in. Those Campbells, I would have laid them flat out like in this picture right here. I would have had them going all the way to fill in that base, and then the canned goods would have been on top of that, or vice versa. However, whatever came first. But those Campbells, I do keep them together, but I keep them together as trying to get a layer, because that's just building a tower of broth. And just like I was saying with the glass, once you get heavy products straight up and down, they're gonna sway. That corner is so heavy and it's liquid, so it's shifting around, and there's a good chance that that whole corner is going to fall. I would have made a layer out of that. All right, guys, in this picture right here, I want to say all those little cases that he has in the middle of his pallet, I love how he did this. Just put all those little cases in the middle of his pallet, and then he ties it in with bags. Once you put those bags on top of it, those cases aren't going anywhere. Just a quick one there. I like how he did that. And I like how he has the tidy cats in the middle. Guys, when possible, put the tidy cats in the middle, because they're a smooth, slippery surface, and you know, when possible. If you have just one or two of them, if you have a bunch of them, then you don't have a choice but to put them towards the outside of your pallet. But when you just have one or two, stick them on the inside of the pallet, because they are slippy cases. And when you put something on them, they are going to shift your pallet. All right, guys, in this picture right here, at the bottom, the green arrow is sort of bent there. Those tidy cats at the bottom, the litter, I would have stacked them straight up and down. When you know you have flour coming, those flowers that are on top of there, that is exactly what happens when you start off the beginning of your pallet with a layer of 5 block. That's when it's not always that important to block what's on the pallet. I would not have 5 blocked that bottom pallet, or I would not have put the tidy cats down like that if I knew flour was coming up. If you don't get the flour, then you don't get the flour. But I would always, if you had the previous order and you had 10 flour, more than likely you're going to have flour again. That's one tip to always know, is when you're doing an order and you get another order in that same aisle, whatever was going out heavy, there's a good chance that you're going to get it on that other order too. So if I knew flour was going out heavy just by looking at other people with that product, oh, I see flour is going out heavy. I do that all the time too. That's a good tip for you guys. If you have not hit an aisle yet, like this is our 48 aisle, you know, with flour and whatever. If I see someone coming by with the 48 aisle, I'm looking at their pallet real quick and seeing what the heavy products are going out. So whenever I get that order, I know what's coming up. That's another good tip for you guys to, you know, just plan ahead for your future whenever you do get that aisle too. But like I said, I would have stacked these tidy cats on the bottom straight up and prepared for that flour. So I didn't get this, because you're going to get that every time. All right, guys, here's another video, or another screenshot off of a video online. I actually like this pallet. You know, even though those 2 arrows, those cases standing upright, I mean, there's times that I probably would do that. It's not that big of a deal, because that entire pallet is light and it's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to break anything. See how square is? What I say in that one video, you have straight lines from your pallet all the way up. You're going to hear me disagree with you very little. You know, that's exactly what this pallet is. Both of his pallets are really good. I'm actually going to show another picture of his pallet. So this is his pallet before he built that back pallet. I mean, just look how everything is nicely stacked, staying within the squares, you know, picturing straight lines coming up from the blue pallet. You know, this light stuff, this sort of looks like our paper towel out also. And he did a really nice job of building this pallet. This is just another view of those same 2 pallets, just giving you a better view of that front pallet, nice and square. No need for cardboard slip sheets. This guy can build. There's no doubt this person could build some really nice pallets. All right, guys. So, you know, I just wanted to go over some of that stuff, you know, some pictures that I found online. I'm just trying to give people visuals. All right, guys, so the last thing I want to talk about, you know, is I am seeing your comments. You know, there's just only so much I can do. I'm really trying, you know, the person that keeps asking, one lady that asked about all the uneven cases, you know, nothing lines up. We have a section of our warehouse down like at the dry goods warehouse, but I'm not there. I'm trying to think of how I can do stuff like that. So this is what I'm going to ask you guys. is, as new selectors, if you want to, take a picture and you could private message me on Discord and just send me a picture of your product. I could either do a video of it if you want me to, or I could do it privately and I could break down your pallet, what I would do differently. So new selectors, take a picture of your finished product, or as you're building it, if you get stuck somewhere, take a picture of your product and then come over to Discord and hit my name and send me a private picture of your stuff. And I could, like I said, I could either do a video of it on my channel, or I could do it for you personally and break it down and tell you what I would do differently. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you next time.